Decades after scaling back its military presence in the Philippines, America is again planning to base serious military muscle in the region.
America's commitment to the defense of the Philippines is ironclad.
It's a really important signal that the US is serious about its security presence across the region.
America's actions are a direct response to China's build-up in the South China Sea.
It gives us an opportunity to position closer to the fight. It gives us an opportunity to keep a closer eye on the actions of the PRC and the PLA, the Chinese Navy.
The US-Filipino deal struck this month is expected to lead to the biggest build-up of the US military in 3 decades, and it comes with a warning.
We'd note that the Mutual Defense Treaty applies to armed attacks on either of our armed forces, public vessels, or aircraft anywhere in the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea.
From its bases in Korea and Japan in North Asia to Australian base access in the south, the Philippines was the missing piece in America's strategy to contain China's growing military might.
The location of the Philippines, very strategic. My successor at INDOPACOM, Admiral Davidson, called it the most important geostrategic location in the Pacific because it sits astride the South China Sea or the West Philippine Sea, depending on your perspective, and the size of the Philippines, its proximity to Taiwan, it's very, very important strategically.
Admiral Harry Harris is a former head of the US Navy in the Pacific before becoming the commander of US forces for the Indo-Pacific. He's been analysing China's armed forces for decades.
If the decision is made to defend Taiwan, should the Chinese, the PRC, launch a cross-strait invasion, then bases in the Philippines would be critical.
Various US officials are openly predicting when China could attempt to retake Taiwan. Less than 2 weeks ago, a leaked memo from a US Air Force commander, Mike Minahan, revealed he told his officers to be ready to fight in just 2 years' time, a timeline the Pentagon publicly rejected.
So you have General Minahan who says 2025. You have Admiral Davidson who says 2027. 2027 is also the 100th anniversary of the PLA, the People's Liberation Army. So that is not an insignificant date. And then you have folks like me who have said the 2020s writ large is the decade of danger.
Beijing's response to the US-Filipino base deal was swift.
美方出于一己私利，抱着零和思维，不断在本地区加强军事部署，是在加剧地区局势紧张，危害地区和平稳定。地区国家应当对此保持警惕，避免被美国胁利用。
The US has a long history with the Philippines, which General MacArthur evacuated during World War II to rebase in Australia. During the Cold War, America re-established ties with Manila, controlling 2 bases, Clark Air Force Base and Subic Naval Base, which provoked public resentment.
In Manila, anti-American demonstrations are a routine event on Friday.
It was that sentiment combined with the devastating eruption of Mount Pinatubo which led to the US to hand back the bases to Filipino control in 1991. Since then, the US has had limited access for some of its military, which under the previous government of Rodrigo Duterte, there were concerns even that would be watered down.
The news about military basing and access in the Philippines is actually just the latest piece of a revival, a renewal of American forward presence in the Western Pacific and across the Indo-Pacific. So it's a real achievement for the Biden administration, and it's also a sign that the contest for influence in the Indo-Pacific is not going all China's way. In fact, we're beginning to see some pretty concerted pushback.
It's been 6 months since the Biden administration launched its Pacific Partnership Strategy to counter China's push into countries like the Solomon Islands.
Today, security in the Pacific and for the Pacific Islanders remains as critical as ever to us, and I hope to you as well, to secure the security of America, quite frankly, and the world depends on your security.
There is a sense that Fiji and other Pacific partners are re-embracing democratic partners for their security and development. A lot of that will depend on how much respect is demonstrated for Pacific concerns, particularly development and education and health and the response to climate change. But I think the Biden administration is getting that balance right.